He is Terry Bradshaw, who came on last week and said, Colin, I want to come on again.
Terry, you're in a movie. I went to the movie theater this weekend, and I saw a preview for something, and you're in it. It's kind of a dirty little role you have there.
I know. Well, not that. Father Figures is the name of the movie.
Father Figures is the name of the movie.
He's really a character in this movie. Multiple scenes, it looks like.
You were at the movie? You saw a trailer for a movie?
Yeah, I saw the trailer, and there he was.
Who's in the movie?
Ed Helms, Owen Wilson.
Oh.
And they think that I got a hat on because last week I looked pretty ragged. And I found this shirt. I don't carry enough clothes with me on the road when I stay over. And then I put the hat. Look, this is what I look. That's not so bad.
That's great.
I like that better.
Yeah, it's not bad.
I like that better.
Okay.
So Christine and I were just talking about, you know that Eli Manning's got a little Jeter to him in New York. There's a lot of, and the Giants fan base, Terry, is older. Like there's a lot, there's a lot of, the New York Giant fan base is older, be respectful. It's very much, the New York Times, all the news fit to print. Would you bench Eli Manning today?
Absolutely not. No, I wouldn't bench him. I'd fire the coach, but I wouldn't bench the quarterback.
Okay.
He's lost his receivers around him. His offensive line isn't as good as it has been.
Yeah.
Eli's fine. What you'll find he'll probably do more than ever is he may force things a little more, try to force the action.
Yes.
But no, you don't get rid of Eli.
So you still think when you watch Eli, he made a couple of throws down the seam yesterday. You still think he can make plays?
Absolutely. Just you got to have bring his players back. When Eli listen, I've said this so many years, Colin, if you give a quarterback talent around him and he's talented, he will perform. We've seen it too many times. We're seeing it in the Rams with Goff and everything they put around him. They bring in Woods out here in L.A. They bring in
left tackle,
Andrew Whitworth at left tackle.
He's been amazing. I mean, there's a canopy around Goff. You can't touch him now.
Gurley's here. They bring in the other wide receiver from Clemson through Buffalo.
Sammy Watkins.
There you go. Remember last week I couldn't remember names.
Cooper Kupp.
3 out of 4 is not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
If you gave me 3 out of 4 every Monday, I'd bring you back every week.
If I got 3 out of 4 on Sunday, I'd be happy. So it's talent. It's all talent. We get too caught up in sending these guys to the shower when, in fact, we don't look at the full picture. You got to look at the full picture. Once you do that, the last thing you want to do is bench Eli Manning. That's crazy.
Okay, you said this yesterday on the Fox show about the Falcons. I want to play a piece of tape here. Here's Terry Bradshaw yesterday on the #1 Sunday show for over 2 decades. Here it is.
28-3. They have a lead in the Super Bowl. The point is, you have to start preparing mentally to get ready for training camp, to get ready for the regular season. They never had the right amount of time mentally to get themselves over that, and that's all there. There's nothing else to this. It's just that simple.
I watched Atlanta yesterday, and part of me, Terry, on my football picks, I'm like, Atlanta's going to come back, Terry. This is the week they're going to pop.
Right.
And I watched them, and I'm like, yeah,
I know, and I thought Carolina would win, and they did. But, yes, you're right. You don't. Of course, Howie turned to me the week before because this is an old story. And he said, well, you never lost the Super Bowl. I said, no, but I can understand. I've lost championship games, and I know how hard that hurt. And you never get over that, Atlanta. When you lose like they lost, you don't get over that. You got to go see a therapist. You got to spend a lot of time, and you will get by it. But I don't see their football team as a emotionally charged football team.
They were last year.
Yeah, man, last year they were smoking.
And now this year they're not.
They got
like
it going, Jack.
Them.
Everybody's feeling good, and now it's searching looking for answers, trying to figure this out. Our running game, is Freeman okay? What's wrong with our wide receiver? Where's our tight end? Gonzalez could go back and play. It's a bunch of things. They lose their middle linebacker. He's out for a while. I mean, you can't, you can't just turn it on. I know that doesn't make sense to a lot of folk who have been paid a lot of money. Absolutely. But that is an emotionally devastating loss, and you just don't get over it.
And by the way, athletes now, with all the social media, you can't hide anymore. And so that means every corner you go to.
True.
People stare at you, look at you, talk about you. You read it on your phone. So I think to even a greater degree, it's harder to overcome a devastating loss. You're now such a public figure. You're mocked. You're tweaked. It's tough. It's a tough world.
No, I'm well aware of that. That's why I do that tweet thing.
Don't do it.
No, heavens no. What I want to do, hear someone say, "You piece of junk, you low-life goober from the South." I don't think I need to hear that junk. You dumb butt. I mean, come on, let's get real here. I don't want to hear that stuff, but you're right. Back when I played in the 70s,
just a newspaper columnist.
You had a paper. You had maybe 2 papers in Pittsburgh, maybe 2, and that would be it, right?
Yeah.
And then then you got USA Today came out. Oh, that was later though. Yeah, that's it. And then you had, and then I recall HBO cable came out. So they had that HBO show with Lenny Dawson and
and maybe they tweak you a little.
A little. So if you watched it, so. Yeah, pretty much just paper-driven. Yeah. So you stay away from that stuff.
Yeah, now you're driving to practice, sports radio's tearing you apart.
I mean, look at this. Here it is. What is it, 9:30 in the morning, and I'm going crazy. Here we go. Okay. And you've been after it already. Yeah. Both of you.
Okay, so yesterday we're watching the Cowboys, and I said this. I like Alex Smith. I like him. But
I made him my halftime MVP of the league.
You did?
Yes.
That wasn't great.
How stupid do I feel this morning?
I
mean, he's let me down. Plus, my wife is a Chiefs fan, and she's watching. Good morning, baby. How you doing? She's watching right now.
Yeah, but you watched that yesterday. If you take out that one play at the end of the half, Terry, I got 3.5 hours. They didn't make a play. And I got Kelsey, and I got Tyreek Hill, and I got Kareem Hunt, and I got Andy Reid.
Yeah.
It's time we just come to the – Alex is a nice player.
It's time we come to the conclusion that Dallas is pretty good.
They are.
They are. I mean, it's just so much is going on. I cannot figure it out. I stay away from the Chiefs game, but I would have picked Kansas City yesterday. As a matter of fact, a lot of guys on our set picked them to win that game. I picked Seattle. Seattle's not going to lose to Washington. Washington just lost to Dallas at home. They got to fly across the country and play Seattle, who's got a hot Russell Wilson. Come on, who are you kidding?
Left
and
tackle
they went
now.
in there and just pounded them. I mean, it was a low-scoring game and an exciting game down to the end. But is that quarterback going to get his money now in Washington? Did you see the comeback he made?
I know,
with
Terry.
a minute 24 left?
Terry, come on.
Here we go. Here we go. What, you don't like him?
Terry,
Cousins is not your guy?
He's fine.
Fine. Well, pay him his money.
You would pay him $28 million.
I paid him 43 already. I paid him 43 for franchising him 2 years in a row, $43 million. What are you going to pay him next year? You're going to pay him $34 million.
No, so
you got to sign him.
No, at the point, I think you're right. I think the reality is.
I know I'm right.
I'm
right here.
You are right.
I am right.
What you don't want to be in this league is terrible and chaotic at quarterback.
Replace him. What you going to get? You already tried Robert Griffin III. What are you going to get? I mean, he's earned it. You got to pay him. Just pay him. Write it off as a business expense. No big deal. Pay him his money. I mean, look at him. He plays well. He loves that offense. He gets him and Gruden see eye to eye. It's
coachable.
Y'all were talking about Brady and Belichick. Man, what a beautiful combination that is. And I'd like to see it continue going on and on. And she's right. Couple of years, I would think Bill would move on. Maybe not.
Let's talk.
I mean, they may win another Super Bowl this year. Do you know that?
Oh, I think they may.
Yeah, I dang sure will.
Because I think there's really good teams in the NFC, but remember, they're all going to knock each other out except one.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
So I think, it's funny. You didn't always have, this goes for a lot of people. Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson had their issues. John Elway had his issue with Dan Reeves.
Marino didn't want to run the ball. Jimmy came from Troy. Here's the difference between Dan. I love Dan. Don't you hate it when people say, I love Dan. Now let me criticize him. But Dan wanted to throw the football, and Jimmy that's not what Troy Aikman realized, and your conversation about running is spot on. I believe in that because I came from that system where you build your defense and then you build that running game. And the running game keeps that offense on the field longer, okay? Right. Not the passing.
Right.
1, 2, 3 touchdown passing, and you got a good defense and you wear them out, and that's how come the games get high, and that's why they stay close. But if you run that football 8, 10 times and you're killing that clock, and that good defense you have is over there, and they've gotten that, and then you give them the ball back. Passing, as Jimmy Johnson says, passing, you score throwing the football. You win the game running it. You run the football, you'll win a football game. And I'm glad to see that I'm glad to see that we do have coaches that realize that. They all say it. We got to run. You know, I love the 3 phases. We got to run, play good defense, special teams. I love it when they all talk like that, don't you?
But they don't want to do it.
Stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
So when we talk Belichick and Brady, and Tomlin and Big Ben have been together for years.
Right.
Do you think, like Christine alludes to, like, is there a point when these are legends now? These aren't just players. Belichick's a legend. Tom's a legend. Are you surprised they don't annoy each other?
Not at all. Not at all. Because Brady realizes how great Belichick is, and Tom realizes his greatness is tied to the hip of Belichick, okay?
Okay.
Name me a great team. He'll obviously have a great coach. He'll obviously be hooked to the hip with a great quarterback. Am I right or wrong? That's pretty much, with exception of Dilfer when they went in with the Ravens. But most of the time, these long-term teams that play for a long time and play together, there's a great quarterback, a great coach, and they're tied at the hip. And Belichick checks his ego, and I think Brady, as great as he is, Brady, both of them, I think they check their egos. And it's not like, I want to be acknowledged as the greatest coach. We already do that. I want to be acknowledged as the greatest quarterback. We already do that. And I think they both realize we need one another, and they both love winning. And it's not about who gets the credit here. And that's what's so important. You'll see that so many times nowadays where you'll read where a guy says, they said down in Tampa Bay a couple of weeks ago, we're playing out of position. We're not being given the opportunity to do the job that we want to do. But I'm going to do what's necessary because I'm a team guy. No, you're not a team guy because you just told us you're not in the right position to do what you want to do, which is sack the quarterbacks or whatever, but you're a team guy.
By the way, let's segue to that. Finally, Terry Bradshaw, Hall of Famer, joining us. Jameis Winston on the sideline yesterday.
I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he was thinking. I don't know what he did some foolish, childish things at Florida State. I love this guy, and I truly do. I've been around him. He is a wonderful guy to be with.
Yeah, he's a funny kid.
He's a great kid. But he is a kid, and he just does not think before he acts sometimes. That's what he did yesterday while basically like, get out of my way. I'm trying to – and then all of a sudden – it's against the arch rival, the division rival, and the Saints. They're there. And then you saw what Evans did, and you got a war going on. I was shocked no one got through out of the football game, but he just don't do that. I just don't know why he does that stuff.
Terry, it's what I always said. It's one of the reasons I love Dak and Russell Wilson and Brady. There's something called emotional intelligence.
Right.
You can be super smart. You can be the smartest guy in the world, but you're emotional, you're uneven. And sometimes there are guys in this league at the quarterback position. You can be uneven at wide receiver, Mike linebacker. But at quarterback, a big part of the equation here is...
America's listening to you right now, and you just said Mike linebacker. Like they know what you're talking about.
Right. Middle linebacker.
You got to talk to folks.
Yeah, middle linebacker.
Middle linebacker. See, now we all on the same page.
No, thank you.
Thank you.
You're a very good broadcaster.
Thank you very much.
But sometimes I want my quarterback, I care about his personality.
Right.
I don't want you to be doing this. Sometimes Jameis is all over the map.
Exactly. It's a learned behavior.
For a young person, yes.
You fight it. It's like, man, and you've got to fight against this, and you definitely got to fight against that. And to some, it's a learned behavior. To others, it's natural. Russell Wilson he's always said the right thing. Now we look at him and go, okay, hey, it's so boring, but.
Boring's good.
Exactly. But hey, your buddy gets Tom Brady. They always say the right thing.
Derek Jeter is the best
the right
ever
thing.
15 years.
Eli, boring. The right thing. Peyton, the right thing. Just name them. Drew Brees. It's just all even kill. And Jameis.
By the way, you're funny now.
I will defend Jameis. He, for the most part, I think he's done a pretty good job. And yesterday, they're struggling in Tampa. And so and then he got pulled and he's got a bad shoulder and he can't play and he's playing hurt. There's some frustration there for sure. You saw what Evans did.
Right.
That's frustration.
By the way, you're a funny guy on TV, but when you played, You were really serious.
I wasn't funny.
You weren't funny at all.
No.
You were serious.
Dead serious. When you're making $300,000, babe, you lock in. You know what I'm saying? and I'm not talking a game.
Terry Bradshaw, great seeing you.
See you next Monday.
All right, buddy. It's the Herd.